Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here this morning. Welcome to Keys to Your Best Life. I have my friend Lauri with me today, and she is an amazing woman of God. I'm telling you, I met this woman through a mutual friend, Blaine Little, and everybody. Oh, sorry. Broadcast. Little feedback there. Sorry. And I was so impressed with her because she is a woman, and I always say that I wear many hats, but she wears many shoes. she wears many shoes, and we're going to talk about some of those different shoes that she has worn and the different shoes that she has mentored women in those areas. But she is an entrepreneur. She is the owner of VMD Enterprises.net, which is a web graphic design, branding, marketing company for over 27 years. And I know what you're thinking. You're looking at Lauri and you're going, she started in kindergarten? So, because there's no way that she could have been in business that long, but it's true she is. She's also the best-selling author of 2 books, Keep Those Clients, and We All Have Choices, and featured in 2 other best-selling books. So she has been a speaker and a trainer for over 15 years, and she is certified life, business, and ministry coach for over 10 years. She's also is an entrepreneur as in all means of the fashion. I mean, she is amazing with this. She has a business with Send Out Cards, and we'll talk a little bit about that because you need to know. And she's been doing that since August of 2004 with an executive company, and she also has a nonprofit. My goodness, she wears a lot of shoes. And, us women are known for having lots of shoes, and I think she has more than the average bear. But a nonprofit, copswives.com, and for 26 years, and then having wonderful widows, because she's ministered to a lot of widows because she's gone through that. And we know that when we go through something, we need to pay it forward, and she's done that as well. But also, she is the founder of a networking luncheon, Nashville's Networking Business Luncheon, which meets on a regular basis. And due to her new exciting change in life, she recently got married. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. I'm going to have her do that because I don't want to butcher it. But she is an amazing woman of God, and we're so glad to have her on the show today. And welcome to the broadcast, Lauri. Pronounce your name for them.
Yes, my new name is Radecki.
Radecki. So Lauri Delk-Radecki. Welcome to the broadcast, Lauri.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored you have me here.
Well, I know that right now you are in transition because she's a newlywed, and I fully expected her to message me and say, hey, I need to reschedule, but this is a woman on purpose. She does things and diligently, and I would have totally understood because she's in the process of moving out of a home that she's lived in how many years?
24 years.
24 years in one place. How many of y'all know that you can gather a lot of things? So I'm just honored and grateful that she is here with us today. And I want to talk to you all about the importance of walking in your purpose, because this is a woman who clearly has done what the Lord has asked her to do in different seasons. I'm all about the seasons of life. And so, Lauri, how did you get called into all of this? I mean, my goodness, you do so many things. You wear so many shoes. What was the first set of shoes that you wore and why?
Wow, yes. So it's literally everything has just kind of rolled one into the other over time. So back in 1993, I was pregnant with our second child, and I was the accounting manager at Home Depot. I had been there for 9.5 years, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home / work-at-home mom. And my late husband was a police officer. And so I knew we needed extra income, that we couldn't just completely lose my income. And so I was praying for God to give me something. And so right then was when the internet was coming out for the real world. And I knew that people needed what we called back then a business card on the web, because most people, didn't even know about the internet back then, right? And it was like trying to convince people, you need a business card on the web. This thing is going to be great one day. And so we got our first credit card, bought my first computer, and I started my company. And I told God, if you teach me, I will use it for you. So then through the years, I built that business up to a 6-figure income, staying at home, raising my 4 small children at the time. And I had a real estate agent that asked me to go to lunch with him for an hour a week for 6 weeks and teach him the principles of what I did in my company to build it up to that income level, so he could turn around and apply it in his company. So I did that. And so that was my first coaching thing that I didn't really know what a coach was.
Right.
And so I did that. And when we were done, he was like, okay, this has been so great. I've loved it so much. Can you create it into a PowerPoint and teach it to my 150 agents that I have in my office over the next 6 weeks? And I was like, oh, wow, goodness. So Jim Rohn always said, say yes and figure it out later. So that's what I did. So I said yes. And then I went back home, and back then it was Yahoo. And I was like, okay, how do you create a PowerPoint? So then that was my first speaking engagement, first small group coaching. And it just I got referrals from there. I've never advertised. So all this time I've never advertised for anything. It's just always been built off referrals from my last, speaking engagement or something. It's just totally word of mouth with everything that I've done. And that's kind of rolled into leading me up to coaching and training with some of the top trainers in the country. And I trained under the lady that put Zig Ziglar on stage.
Wow.
So that's where I got my certifications from. And I built her whole training platform as well. And so it's just, everything just kind of rolled into each other. And then, of course, when I fast forward to, my late husband was killed in a car wreck 7.5 years ago. And so then, God gave me those shoes and started talking to me about, you need to, pull up your bootstraps and move forward and start helping other women go through this process too. And so I started that, and Gratitude Girls, and just everything just kind of like rolled into each other.
So the VMD Enterprises was your original company, and is that still going on today?
Yes, it is.
And what is the ideal client for that? If someone is watching and going, what would that offer? What services does that offer? And they're interested in that. What would that be like, Lauri?
Yeah, so it's anything to do with the internet, with your business. So it's BMD for branding, marketing, and design. So I design complete websites, from a very small website that an insurance agent just wants a 5-page traditional website. I obviously can do that, to where, like I said, the several top trainers in the country that have like complete online portals through like the Kajabi or Podia platforms.
Nice.
And so I can build the entire training company, the landing pages, the email things that go with it, the online payment processors. I connect everything together, the sales funnels, all that I put together. And so those are more my ideal clients that I've done more recently, is the people that need those things on that bigger scale. But I can still do and still maintain I have some of my clients that I've been running their hosting and their social media. I mean, even before social media was a word, that people even knew that it was a word back when Yahoo ran everything.
So back in the day. So listen, y'all, we will put the links at the end of the broadcast in here in the event that you are looking for some of these services, because branding is important. Marketing is important. You have to have some way of being found. And so it's kind of like, the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Well, he who finds your website finds a good thing too, because it is hard out there. There are so many people out there on the World Wide Web, and you've got to be able to stand apart. heart. So I know a lot of Christians struggle, and I struggled with this a lot. When I first started into the things that God had called me into, is I was like, oh, well, I want to be humble, and I don't want to, I don't want to do all of that and that marketing myself and everything. But there is something about when God places gifts in you, as he obviously has with you, that we need to allow those gifts to come forth. I'm so glad you did that 27 years ago when you were in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So let's just briefly, and we'll just hit on this because I know you mentioned that your ex-husband or your deceased husband had passed away in a car accident, and you started ministering to widows. Did that start in like a Facebook group, or did it start? How did that start?
Yeah, it did. When it first happened, I'm a very, very social butterfly, but I couldn't, go out as much as I have all that positivity and gratefulness and thankfulness. And I teach and train on that. When I got that news, that it was sudden, all that stuff kind of went out the window for a few minutes.
Sure.
And I was looking for support. And so I joined several other groups, but I just wasn't finding what I wanted. And I was praying about it. And God said, you know how to do things, create your own. I want you to teach it. You need to teach and minister to my other widows. And so I wanted one that we go through the problems. We have the tragedy. We have the heartache. We're going to cry. We're going to get angry. We're going to get mad. We're going to get sad. But we're not going to stay there. We're going to try to still focus on what we can be thankful and grateful for, and, not move on, like a lot of people say for widows. That I dislike that term, but move forward, because we're still breathing. We have a purpose, and we need to find that purpose that God is leading us to.
So important, so important. I've dealt a lot with grief in my life personally and with other people, and it is so important to have that support system in place. So was Grateful Girls a spin-off from the Widows? Because the Widows, was that specifically for Cops' Wives, or was Cops' Wives separate?
Yeah, so the Cops' Wives was actually, we started that many years ago. My husband was an officer, and I met another girl, the same thing back in the Yahoo days, that her husband had got shot. And so he was still alive, but he had gotten shot on duty. So that life still was hard. And so she actually started that group, and then I took it over. She asked me to take it over for her. And so we ran it together for a little bit, and then she stepped away. Her husband retired. I took it over for her. I still run it to this day, even though mine's gone, but I still have a lot of, police connections and things. And the same thing, it went from being on Yahoo groups to Google groups to Facebook groups. But we have, thousands of women in that area all over the world as well. So there was that. And then the Gratitude Girls was actually a kind of a derivative of Send Out Cards. It's not about Send Out Cards, but my partner, my co-founder in that company, Send Out Cards has an award each year for a theme for an award, for their conventions. And in 2013, the award was gratitude. And so Catherine, my co-founder with that and partner, she won that award that year. And then they announced that I was winning that award. So normally there's only one person, and two of us won that award. So we are actually cross-lined to each other in that company. But we just knew that, nothing is coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. We knew that there was something that we needed to do with that. And so we created Gratitude Girls.
I love it. That, what I see all throughout all of this is just acts of obedience and walking in the Spirit and being sensitive to the needs of people that need to change their shoes. So for those of you that are just logging on, we're here with Lauri Delk-Radecki. And Lauri is a coach, a speaker, an entrepreneur, a author, a very impressive woman. So I want you to share this out to your friends. I want you to make sure if you're watching this on the replay, hit hashtag replay so we know you were here. And listen to some of the things that she's done, because listen, you guys are carrying some gifts and talents inside of you that have not been birthed. And so this is a woman who did not settle. She listened, she obeyed, and she reaped the harvest from all the seeds that she sown. So now the send out cards, okay? So talk a little bit about that so people would know what that's about.
Yeah, so I've sent out cards since I was a little girl. My grandmother taught me that, if somebody gives you something or does something for you, you are to properly thank them because they didn't have to do it or give it to you, right? And so I learned how to write thank you cards when I was little. So in my web and graphics design and branding and marketing company, I started sending thank you cards. Anytime I talked to somebody, they gave me the time of day. Of course, if they gave me business, I would send them a thank you card. And back then, I would create custom ones on that Microsoft Greetings Workshop program, and I would print them out. So fast forward to 2004, send out cards started. And so I was the 999th distributor in the company. So it is a direct sales type company. And they do the printing for you. And I thought, how great is this? They can print it. I don't have to, if my purple or blue is a little bit low, that the card doesn't look terrible and I have to start over, they can just do it all for me. So you go online, you create your message, you can pick one of the cards that they have. There's like 70,000 cards in the database, or you can customize your own completely from scratch or just add to one of theirs. And you hit send and they print it, stuff it, stamp it, and mail it for you. So
do y'all hear that? They do it for you. And we are all busy and need that service. So we're definitely going to put the link in there. And I have been the recipient of one of those cards, and it blessed me. Because so much now with internet, it is very challenging to have that personal touch. And so I'm grateful for that. So I don't know if I ever thanked you for that precious card, but it blessed me and it could bless others. So y'all make sure you check into that. What a great concept.
Yes. And it's so great to keep in touch with your clients and customers, but also just to keep in touch with friends and family. And it's cheaper than stores. So, like when you go to any of the grocery stores or whatever, you're going to pay anywhere from $5 to $10 for a decent card, right? And then with these, though, if you don't like the message on the inside, you click a button and then you write your own. So it doesn't matter, and then you can upload pictures to it to customize them. So a lot of times I even, of friends, I'll take pictures that they post on social media and I download it and throw it on a card. And then it fits in a little 5x7 frame that they can keep, because most people don't print pictures anymore nowadays. Right. And I love pictures. I love, pictures are memories.
Yes.
Right. And so I love having pictures all around. That's one of the things we've talked about in our new home, of what's going on the walls. And I'm like, no fancy artwork. I mean, I like that, but I like pictures, family, friends, memories, because pictures are memories.
I absolutely love that. Love that. Love that. And I'm involved in a network marketing company as well. And I know how important it is for those of us that need flexibility in our life to be able to schedule your coaching and to be able to accept the speaking engagements and so forth. So if you're watching this and you have something coming up, listen, Lauri speaks on various things. She is a businesswoman, but she is also has worn many shoes as a mother and imparting to women as a whole. So it's not limited to just widows. It's not limited to just business. And so what are some of your keynote topics that you like to speak on?
So I have one, my last one that I just did in January. So the last one before this COVID thing this year was just, are you happy? Mm-hmm. So that was one to a lot of women, and it was an empowering women event. And so that's one of my slogans, is empowering women to wear the shoes and walk in the shoes that God designed them to. And so that's one of my favorite ones as far as just personal to help motivate and uplift other women. Yes, a lot of it is as widows, is Christian women, Christian wives, Christian mothers. I homeschooled my children also. I taught at our kids' Christian school for 5 years and then homeschooled the last 10 years.
Wow.
So I've spoke to women on that before as well. So I have lots of topics. Then I also have, like my books, Keep Those Clients. So on a business level, it's people keeping in touch with their customers and clients. And so yes, even like in other direct sales companies, I have people that join send out cards to keep in touch with their team. You know, hey, welcome to my team. Hey, you're on fire. Did a great job. Things like that. And then also my second book, We All Have Choices. So I have a lot of different topics in that book, and I have made speaking engagements on almost every topic that's in that book on each chapter too. So
I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, your books are available on Amazon, I'm assuming?
They are on Amazon as well as directly on my website at lauridelk.me.
Gotcha. So y'all will definitely want to have these in your library and utilize them, especially the one about keeping your clients. I mean, we don't always know how to do that. I mean, you think that, okay, we're business people. We need to, know that, but we need help in that area. And Lauri has provided that in the book, as well as a lot of other great topics. So I encourage you to get that book and get one for someone you're mentoring as well. If you are in network marketing or any type of direct marketing, listen, you're speaking into the lives of people and you want to get those tools so that you can pass it on to other people as well. So I encourage you to definitely check out the books, check out and send out cards. I think that's absolutely amazing. Now I know I met you in a restaurant. You were conducting a luncheon, the Nashville networking luncheon. I was there with some friends having lunch, and you and Blaine were leaving, and I had the opportunity to meet you, and I'm so grateful for that. Speaking of being a grateful chick or a grateful lady, I've got another friend, Larissa, who has grateful chicks, and yours is grateful. What is it? Grateful?
Gratitude Girls.
Gratitude Girls. Okay, there we go. Because see, I love that because everything stems from our ability to have thankfulness, gratefulness in our lives. And we cannot move forward. We cannot be happy. We cannot really walk in the true calling that God has given us until we are grateful. And so I love the name of that. So tell me how Nashville Networking Business Lunches got started.
Yeah, so I was a member of a couple other networking groups, networking luncheons, and they went really great, and for about 5 years. And it was one of those that you pay for, and my time for my renewal was coming up, and the dynamics of the group had changed. It was really good for about 5 years, and then some other people didn't renew, and then I found to be that I was like the main one bringing guests to the lunch. And I thought, if I'm the main one bringing guests, why should I pay somebody else to do it? So I basically took everything I loved about that group and then everything I didn't love, and I created my own rules in my own group. And so we started those in just the Cool Springs area every Friday. And then I had so many people asking me to start another one in their city. And I was like, you could copy what I did and do it yourself. And they were like, no, I don't want to do it, but I want you to do it because you do a great job. So then I decided, maybe not every week in the same area, right? And so there's a lot of people in business that can work in different areas. So some people are more local to a certain area, but a lot of people are more mobile. So I branched out and did every Friday. And then 5 years ago, I added every Thursday. And so we did that for a while. And now, because the same thing, changing your shoes, I've handed the reins over. I'm still going to be very active, involved in it, still, listed as founder for 15 years. But I've handed over to a good friend of mine, John Cleaver. He's one of my friends, clients, business partners. And so he's going to be running them. And so they're going to be every Friday. And then the third Thursday, as far as in person, since the world is starting to open back up. And then also every Tuesday afternoon on a live virtual luncheon, because that's what we've had to do for the last couple months through this anyway. So we decided to keep those as well.
That's amazing. And I'm so grateful for that because, I was on the cloud before COVID, and most of my counseling and coaching clients are all over the United States via Zoom, via FaceTime, via whatever avenue that they are comfortable with, whatever platform that they, if they are literally, I can only do Facebook, whatever they can do is where I meet them. And it is very important for us to understand that we can reach a lot of people via the internet. And it's the World Wide Web. Lives all over. And I love that because, see, Lauri, I've been trying to get to one of your meetings since I met you. And I have not been able to squeeze that into my schedule. But now with that Tuesday virtual, it is becoming more of a reality. So for those of you thinking, I can't get to Columbia, I can't get to School Springs, I can't get to Nashville, whatever, you have other alternatives. And I think people are getting more and more comfortable with this right here. Like right now, if we would have to meet somewhere, we both would have had driving time to get there. We both would have had to accommodate our calendars for extra time for a 30-minute broadcast. So let's face it, life is simple on the cloud.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't have to go through all the hoops of having to find a place to park, expenses for lunches and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying do not go to these in-person lunches. I encourage you to do that. Relationships matter. And if you are out and about, you need to be connected. We do better together. But if your only other alternative, like I live way out in the country, it's not really convenient for me and so forth. So I can sit here in my pajama bottoms, in my blazer, and look presentable and do this all in a short amount of time. So, Lauri, that is brilliant. I'm so glad that you guys are continuing on doing that on Tuesdays, because the reality is I don't know that I can ever get over to one of those meetings at lunchtime, because there's grandkids to be picked up at school and there's all of these things that we have going on. So you've made it to where everybody can participate.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we're in, we will be in 5 different cities as far as in person, but then yes, the virtual, because that's going to work for me too, because my new house is even farther out in the country. The closest grocery store to me will be over 30 minutes away. So
I feel that. I completely feel that. That's about what it is for me, about 35, 40 minutes to get to the grocery store. And that can, but there again, together on the internet, we can do so many things. So if you have been watching this whole broadcast, you've heard it all. But if you're just logged in, make sure you go back and you watch the replay, because Lauri has so many shoes. I just see like this huge virtual shoe rack with all of these different things. Yeah, I wear hats, she wears shoes. We work good together here. So, Lauri, if I could ask you, what is one thing out of all the different shoes you wore, what is something that you would like to leave the viewers with to impart to them for their keys to their best life? What is a key that you would like to leave them?
Yeah, so I'll say 2 things really quickly. As far as in business, consistency matters. So no matter what you do, no matter how much you work, I know a lot of different trainers and coaches say, oh, if you're not working this many hours or this much, you're not really serious about your business. And I always had a problem with that because I was always so family focused first and then business. So as long as you're consistent, you're going to get to where you want to go. So, and then the next thing is just, and you've even said that a couple times in the show, but relationships matter. The number one thing out of everything in the world is relationships matter. Your family, as well as your business, your friends, your clients, your customers, everything, relationships matter in the end. So no matter what the disagreement, the fight, whatever the situation is, fix relationships, because one day something's going to happen and you're not going to be able to fix that anymore. Even if you wanted to, it's going to be too late. So no matter what, always fix those relationships.
I love that. That speaks to both areas of our life, professional and personal, and can overlap into each other. So I cannot thank you enough, Lauri. I know being a newlywed in the middle of a move, recalibrating your calendar for the year with COVID and trying to change all your shoes in a timely manner, that time is very valuable. And I appreciate you taking out the time today to spend with me and to spend with the viewers. And I want to thank you. And I definitely want to be able to have you back on the show sometime because I had so much fun with you. So listen, viewers, make sure you check out her books, check out her resources available, whether it be send out cards or her website, and we'll see you next week on Keys to Your Best Life. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.